It's time for the Tony Lewis Show. Learn all about Jasper Wildcat football. This week's show is sponsored by Milligan Communications, Street Dreams, and the Southwestern Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brosmer Communications. Go Wildcats!
Hello and welcome to this week's Tony Lewis Show. And Coach, last week you took on Mater Dei at home. Why don't you preview that game for us? Not preview. Why don't you recap that game for us?
Well, it was a tough loss for us. Overall, I don't think we played very well. We put the ball on the ground for a scoop and score that really put us in a hole there in the first half. I believe we were down 20-0 at halftime. And, we moved the ball, 20-7. We moved the ball in the first drive, moved it right down the field and scored, hit the extra point, and then they drive it right down the field. I thought their quarterback played extremely well throughout the game. He was very accurate. He made some throws outside the pocket that were big for him. We didn't do a good job defensively in the first half of keeping him in the pocket. So they drive back down and score, tied up 7-7, and then, we gave up a fumble that they scooped and scored, make it 14-7, and then they scored again going into halftime. So we're down 20-7, I believe, at half. We moved the ball, had the ball inside their 20, I believe, at the end of the half. We decided to go for it as opposed to kicking a field goal on 4th and 5 or 6. We don't get it. Maybe should have gone for the points there. Third quarter, we have another opportunity down inside the 20. Instead of going for it, we kicked the field goal and missed it. And overall, I thought our defense played better in the second half. Offensively, we just couldn't sustain drives. We would have a few good plays and have a penalty, and Mater Dei outplayed us. They outcoached us, and, we've got a rebound going into this week against Central.
And, football can sometimes be a weird thing. And have you ever experienced 3 scoop and scores against you in the first 6 weeks of any season?
No, and to be honest with you, I can't remember many scoop and scores at all over my career. I don't remember a lot of those, and we've had 3 of them, so that's been obviously very unfortunate, but we've got to do a better job of taking care of the football, and that's been obviously a broken record this year.
And and when you look at Mater Dei, 8 of their top 9 receivers are seniors. Their quarterback's a senior. Their top 2 rushers are seniors. They're a pretty senior-laden team.
They are, and going into the year, they had a lot of people feeling like they were going to compete for the SIAC. They took a couple tough losses, and obviously they came out ready to play. I'm not sure that we were ready to play overall. I thought our defense played better, more aggressively in the second half. We got a tip ball that Mitchell Leinenbach returned for a short return that kind of set up our offense, and we just couldn't get it in. So, we've got to do a better job of doing the little things right. That's kind of what we're concentrating on this week in practice. And
the one thing watching the game, the thing that I noticed too, Wonder Lake got the ball out pretty fast on timing patterns. It was tough to put a rush on him.
It was, and in the second half we kind of altered what we were doing a little bit up front. We did bring some more pressure in the second half, and we were at least able to get him off his spot a little bit in the second half, which was beneficial to us. But again, overall they outplayed us and outcoached us, and again, we have to stress doing the little things right. We're just not doing the little things right. And if you do the little things right, everything else will take care of itself.
And we're back on the Tony Lewis Show, right after these messages from our sponsors. You're listening to the Southwest Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brosmer Communications.
Wanting to scan those old videos, films, or audio to DVD? Well, look no further than Milligan Communications. We can also scan your old pictures, slides, and negatives to picture quality as well. With thousands of happy customers, let Milligan Communications help put your treasured memories on a digital media. Call Milligan Communications today at 812-630-2449. Milligan Communications, capturing your yesterdays.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
And welcome back to the Tony Lewis Show. And we're joined by WJTS play-by-play man for the Jasper Wildcats, Greg Schneider. Craig, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Joe. How are you?
Doing good. How's working with Bob Webb?
Oh, Bob and I go way, way back. I mean, yeah, we obviously played together back in the day. We're in the same class and all that. So, it was just, I used to do the games with Mike Blessinger, and, he was also a classmate. But once Kate graduated and started playing some college football and all that, Bob was just like the first guy I thought of, because, again, we just have a history of playing together and knew each other for a long time. So I love working with Bob. We just kind of go back to our high school mindset sometimes, especially off the air.
Well, you guys do a great job together, so I always
Thank
enjoy listening to you too. So, you cover the Jasper Wildcats in football and basketball, and why don't you tell us a little bit about this year's Jasper football team?
Well, Wildcats 2-3 on the season. Looked very promising to start the season against Memorial, where we won that game 34-10, and then it just seemed like then all of a sudden injuries kind of came into the play. Losing Grant Young, he's been out for a number of games now. Tried to make a comeback against Wrights, but he's just still kind of dealing with a leg or an ankle injury. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but hopefully we can get him back on the field eventually. Then we lost Braylon Bear. That was on the kickoff against Harrison. And so that's hurt us because, he had a really nice game against Memorial to start the season. And then other injuries, Caden Ernie and a few others. So we're kind of a younger football team, obviously starting a freshman quarterback and a couple of backs back there. Max Futel, the freshman quarterback, he's done a nice job in these last two games. But, again, he's just still getting his feet wet. And so it's just a kind of a situation where, things are kind of looking up. 1 week we had a nice win against Bosse, but then Mater Dei last week was a little too much for us as far as their passing attack and experience. I think really helped Mater Dei kind of dominate that football game.
And now I'll tell you what, watching that Mater Dei game, I mean, the first quarter basically was Jasper drives for a touchdown, then Mater Dei drives for a touchdown, and then the first quarter's over. So that's basically all there was.
Right. And Jasper looked great on that initial drive. First of all, Futel, I mean, he connected with Will Wallace on about a 20-yard play, and that was our first play from scrimmage. So I think that kind of threw Mater Dei off guard there. But we marched right down the field. Carter Holsworth, where he's just in his natural position at fullback. And then also Ross Dawkins had a couple nice runs. And then Jace Perkins finished that drive off with a 10-yard run. So we marched 78 yards to take that 7-0 lead. And then, like you said, Mater Dei, once Mason Wonderlook kind of took over, he, 25 of 34 passing in that game for 250 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he split things up among 9 receivers in that football game. So, he obviously has the experience, and especially at that wideout position. Blake Hurties, who used to be the quarterback for Central, is now one of their wide receivers. So he had some catches. Ethan Stoltz had 8 catches for 62 yards and 2 touchdowns. So, just kind of Mater Dei kind of took control of that football game, and Jasper wasn't able to really ever get it back.
Yeah, and when you look at it, I mean, you look at the receiving core, they've got their top 8 receivers are seniors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You look at their rushers, their top 2 juniors. their top 2 rushers are seniors. I mean,
Right.
and their quarterback, of course, is a senior. So there's a lot of experience there.
Oh, there's no question. And obviously they made the run to the state finals last year. So, Mater Dei is just always one of those teams that's going to be there. I mean, their coach Gable has been coaching forever at Mater Dei. And, again, they're just well coached, well disciplined, and they always find players that, are going to, they get on the field as sophomores, by the time they're seniors, they're just going to continue to be really good football team.
Yeah, I mean, that's as I said. Jasper's playing a lot of young kids now, and it's going to lend great for the future. You're going to hear the name Butel and Smith and Dawkins for quite a while.
Oh, no question. And they all look sharp because even the Bossy game, I remember going out in the field and I was talking with Jared Land beforehand. He's the freshman football coach, and he was just kind of filling me in on some things. But just watching him run some of the initial, scrimmage plays while they're warming up, and it's like, wow, this kid's he's kind of got command of what's going on out here. And then he proved it in that Bossy game. Had a great game there, threw a touchdown pass, and on the season he's like 7 of 14 passing for 133 yards and a touchdown. He did throw one pick the other night, but again, just a freshman, and his size. I mean, I think he weighs 130 pounds and is 5 foot. Who knows what, but it's just one of those deals where it's like, man, this kid is just getting some valuable experience and looks to be our quarterback of the future.
And DC Broadcasting has always been an integral part of Jasper sports, and the great thing is you put your games on YouTube now, so people out of town can watch them. But you're also on tape delay on Saturday mornings. Why don't you give us a little bit of that information?
Oh, sure. Yeah. WJTS, Channel 18, based in Jasper, but part of DuBois County Broadcasting. Kirk Uxell is the sports director there. And, with WJTS, we will air the games at 10 a.m. on Saturdays, and then again Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. And actually, I watch them with my rabbit ears here at home, as far as watching the live tape delay broadcast, I guess. But then we also put it on YouTube, and we've got, you have to look it up on 18 WJTS is our YouTube channel, and you can subscribe there. But they usually have them up usually about midday Monday on YouTube, so that'll give anyone who doesn't get a chance to catch them or maybe aren't able to pick up the channel, because I think it's still on Spectrum and all that. So if you can't pick it up there, watch it on YouTube. And our games go all the way back. I think we still have like the high school games for basketball and football over the last 2 or 3 years. And we started that really with the COVID football season, just because fans weren't able to get to the games and all that. So Kurt decided to put them on YouTube. And so, yeah, you can pretty well catch it there. And they stay on there for a pretty long time.
Yeah, and if you're looking for a game from the past, you can also go to our website, Southwest Indiana Sports Network. We have all the links to all those games.
Oh, good.
And baseball, basketball, and football games for Jasper.
Yeah, that's great. And just the main thing is with Jasper, I just feel like we get great media coverage here with the radio, TV, and of course we always have sports writers at the games covering it for the Herald, and then of course how you promote. You've always promoted Jasper sports with all the different things you've done over the years. And so, yeah, for a town of, 15,000 people and all that, I mean, we got really great sports coverage that hopefully people were able to enjoy and take advantage of.
Yeah, because I know when my daughter played volleyball, she played in Louisville. I had the Herald there one day, and one of the dads picked it up and started looking at it. And he goes, and it was like a Saturday morning paper, and he goes, "You guys actually get all this coverage because Assumption was won like how many national championships in volleyball, and
oh yeah,
you would never know it because
right.
Because Louisville Courier can't do that. It's just too much.
Right. Oh, I agree. And but no, that's the nice thing here is that again we've always had a commitment to sports in Jasper, going all the way back to when my dad was younger and all that. I know that they just had the Jasper Hall of Fame, Jasper Athletics Hall of Fame banquet this past weekend, and some of the big names. I mean, Scott Rowland, Terry Gobert, Coach Brewer, Joe Rohleder, but I even go all the way back to, the Paul Huffman stories. My dad would tell me stories about Paul Huffman and what a great player he was, and he was an All-American at Purdue, I think, in all three sports, football, basketball, and baseball, and he didn't even play football at Jasper High School, because they didn't have football back in the early to mid 40s. But yeah, he goes to Purdue and becomes basically an All Big Ten and All American player there.
And also Steve Milligan.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. So I wasn't able to make the ceremony because I was out of town for
it was a great
family
night.
wedding this weekend. Yeah, I'm sure it was.
It was a great night. And you realize when you're sitting there listening to them, and you realize how many other people should make it, and we'll make it probably in the future. It's just
sure.
It's just unbelievable to realize the sports tradition we have at Jasper High School.
No question at all.
Well, Craig, thanks for being with us today.
I appreciate it, Joe. And again, catch us on YouTube. If you can't catch us on the air, on 18 WJTS.
And you can listen to the Tony Lewis Show, and we'll back having messages from our sponsors. You're listening to the Southwest Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Boaster Communications.
Wanting to scan those old videos, films, or audio to DVD? We'll look no further than Milligan Communications. We can also scan your old pictures, slides, and negatives to picture quality as well. With thousands of happy customers, let Milligan Communications help put your treasured memories on a digital media. Call Milligan Communications today at 812-630-2449. Milligan Communications, capturing your yesterdays.
This is the most important, amazingest game ever played in the universe. The pitcher is fierce. Danny Roberts is up at bat. And the crowd goes wild. He just won the game. Let's go! Yes!
We protect the car you drive.
Go get him, Danny.
And the dreams that drive you. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
Want to know what I like best about playing basketball for my high school? I like it because it's a place where my friends get to see me play. I like it because I'm playing for someone besides myself. I'm playing for everybody in my school and every person in my community.
Indiana High School Sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
And welcome back to the Tony Lewis Show. And, Coach, I'll tell you what, this week you get to play Evansville Central down at Evansville, a team that's kind of had trouble scoring this year. They've scored 19 total points this year. Hopefully that trend continues. Can you preview that game for us?
Yeah, Central has, they lost a couple transfer kids to Wright, their quarterback, and they also lost a tailback to Memorial. So, they're dealing with some kids that went to other schools. They're dealing with, playing some young kids just like us. They're playing some sophomores, and we're playing some sophomores and freshmen. But they are, and again, we can't take anybody lightly. They've got two talented tailbacks that rotate in there. Their quarterback came out this year as a senior. I believe he's a basketball player that is pretty athletic. We're playing at their place. They're going to be fired up to play. Obviously, we haven't played up to our expectations, and they probably haven't either. So, again, it comes down to the team that does little things right and is more hungry for a victory. Defensively, they will hit you. They're pretty aggressive. Offensively, they like to run toss sweep. They'll run off tackle, power, ISO. Their quarterback does a good job on bootleg. A lot of time he'll keep the ball on bootlegs, and they'll throw the ball downfield against us. A lot of teams have tried to go over the top on us, and they've had some success. So I would expect them to do that or at least attempt to do that as well.
And in the SAC standings, Wright sits at 5-0, but then your next three games are against Castle, Evansville North, and Vincennes Lincoln, who also sit towards the top of the SIAC.
Yeah, it's a gauntlet that we're getting ready to start the away gauntlet here. We play at Central, at Castle, and at North, and finish with Vincennes at home. So, we've got to mentally prepare ourselves to get on the bus, for the next 3 weeks. And, we've got to be more physical than we've been. We pride ourselves on being physical and playing together, kind of going back to kind of what we're emphasizing, doing the little things right, being together as a team, supporting each other and playing for each other, and then being physical. If we can do those three things, then, we're going to give ourselves an opportunity to compete. And, that's what we're all about, competing.
Well, Coach, good luck this week.
Thank you very much, and go Wildcats.
And you've been listening to the Tony Lewis Show on the Southwest Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brosman Communications. We'll see you next week.
You have been listening to the Tony Lewis Show. Join us every week to learn more about Jasper Wildcat football. This week's show is brought to you by Milligan Communications, Street Dreams, and the Southwestern Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brosman Communications. See you next week.